It's Friday, the 18th of June. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony, and thank God it's Friday. You genuinely have no idea how close I came to missing today's show entirely. We'll get to the news headlines in just a second, but first, let us trawl through the file marked celebrity birthdays.
Happy birthday!
And it's a happy heavenly birthday to intrepid mountaineer George Mallory, who sadly perished close to the peak of Mount Everest back in 1924. In true English fashion, Mallory climbed the mountain wearing a tweed jacket. We'll never know if he actually made it to the peak, but if he did, I'm sure he looked pretty damn dapper. It's also happy birthday to the ever-gorgeous Isabella Rossellini and to the lesser Beatle, Sir Paul McCartney. Many happy returns to you one and all. It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it? Every 3 years, the Construction Industry Training Board goes to the market to plead its case. Every 3 years, levy payers in the construction industry bitch and moan and whine about the CITB's failings and its shortcomings. And then every 3 years, the CITB is ultimately granted permission to carry on regardless. And I've no doubt that they will do exactly the same this time around. However, before you put a grudging tick in the pro CITB box, you might like to take a look at this.
Hello, I own a construction firm turning over 1.5 million a year, and I know how hard it is to generate and maintain that level of business. I'm angry that the CITB has squandered £80 million of our levy monies in the last 3 years. Last year alone, firms like ours paid the CITB levies of 195 million and got just 92 million back in training grants. Here are just some of the things that the CITB spent our levy on. In the last 3 years, they spent a staggering £40 million on business improvement and technology. Has anyone noticed any improvements? The Vision 2020 business plan of 2018 was to sell its training centres and move its head office. But now, a reversal of that decision has left a £33 million hole in the books. Do you see the logic? CITB also spent nearly £10 million on redundancy and fit-out costs in moving its head office from Norfolk to Peterborough. Can any of you afford such a wasteful move? In the last 3 years, CITB has spent £2.7 million in car leasing. Has anyone had a visit from them? The CITB has spent £1.4 million in the last 3 years on research companies to find out what you think. Wouldn't it have been easier for them to give you a ring and you could have told them straight? The CITB, who stiff us for millions to squander, are now asking the industry for another 3 years of levy and grant powers. Now is the time to tell the trade associations or the researchers what you really think of the CITB.
£2.7 million on car leasing. I didn't realise the CITB was that big. Or is there just one or two people leasing Bugattis? I really don't know, but it's food for thought, right? Anyway, moving on. House builders will be stripped of planning permission if site development doesn't commence within 18 months after planning is greenlit under new government proposals. With England desperate for new houses and close to 1 million plots across the country remaining unfinished, MPs argue that proposals put forward by the Housing, Communities and Local Government Committee could speed up the rate of build and resolve England's desperate shortage of homes. The government should set a limit of 18 months following discharge of planning conditions for work to commence on site, states the committee in their recently released report. If work has not progressed to the satisfaction of the local planning authority, then planning permission may be revoked. With industry-leading professionals agreeing that speeding up build rates will help the government to achieve its house building targets of 300,000 new homes a year, others claim the committee's recent proposals unfairly penalise developers with unnecessary bureaucracy while avoiding the principal factors contributing to the 74,000 new build shortfall between 2019 and 2020. These buttons need rearranging. Bear with me. Derby-based Cawarden has strengthened its board with 3 key internal promotions. The announcement sees Malcolm Lowes, that's Malcolm on the far left there, Oliver Crooks and Samuel Crooks joining the board of directors with immediate effect. Demolition director Malcolm Lowes is a highly experienced demolition professional who has a wealth of experience in all forms of demolition. He's got 40 years of industry experience under his belt, including the last 17 with Cawarden. Bringing fresh perspectives, brothers Oliver and Samuel Crooks have also received promotions to join the board of directors. Oliver has stepped up from the role of up to the role of commercial director, from commercial manager, and Samuel from demolition manager to contracts director. With William Crooks' time taken up with presidential duties over at the NFDC, these are timely appointments. And it's also great to see some younger guys being given the opportunity to shape both the company and the wider industry as well. So congratulations to everyone involved.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Now, one of the highlights of the Conexpo show in Las Vegas last March was the launch of the Komatsu D71 PXI dozer. I was so taken with the machine that I actually featured it on a live stream show back in the midst of the first lockdown. Now, not one, but 2 of these machines have made landfall here in the UK, and both have been purchased by the True 7 group. And my construction collective colleague, Peter Haddock, has been on site to see them both in action. Like to see them? Here we go. Peter's video really is worth checking out. So once this show is over, I'll add a link to it over, below this video. But you can find it very, very easily. Don't do it quite yet because I haven't quite finished speaking. But if you go to YouTube and search for Content with Media, I think it's still the first video that you'll see there, and it really is worth having a look at.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
I really need to have a word with her. Now, we've been reporting on the rise and rising construction activity in and around the West Midlands for some time now. And now comes the news that Aggregate Industries has opened a new ready-mix concrete plant in Coleshill in Warwickshire. The new state-of-the-art facility has the capacity to produce 110 cubic metres an hour. The pioneering plant has been incorporated into the existing site, ensuring the majority of the yard and stock bays could be retained. As a further nod to sustainability, the Coleshill plant uses a recycled water system, enabling it to reprocess most of the water used during concrete production. David Porter, area manager for RMX Midlands at Aggregate Industries, said, "The West Midlands is fast becoming the centre of construction with infrastructure projects such as HS2 and the Commonwealth Games. We've opened a fantastic new ready-mix plant in Coleshill, complete with state-of-the-art technology that not only ensures the quality and consistency of our concrete solutions is the highest it's ever been, but the production process is now more sustainable." More power to the folks at Aggregate Industries. And the opening of that plant really couldn't have been better timed. As I've already said, the West Midlands is currently riding high, but then so is a great deal of the country, actually. Over the past 2 or 3 years, the BC Live League table of construction contract award activity has been running at an average of around £4 billion per month. And we've already seen that figure exceeded countless times in recent months. And June 2021 looks set to be another absolute bumper month. I checked the numbers this morning before I came on air while I was running around, and it's already sat at £4.7 billion, and we're just over halfway through the month. Lord alone knows what the final figure will be when the end of the month rolls around, but we will be catching up with the Builders Conference CEO Neil Edwards at the end of the month to find out more. Now, even though many of us will be sat down watching the football later this evening at 6 p.m. tonight, we will finally premiere our brand new show, Demolition World. You'll be able to watch it right here and over on demolitionnews.com. The first episode features demo diva Simone Bruni, who created a successful demolition business in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, which leveled her hometown, rendered her homeless and unemployed. You don't want to miss that. And if you missed any of our daily shows this week, then fear not. Our weekly omnibus edition, the weekend wrap, will be available to view first thing tomorrow morning, allowing you to catch up with the week's news, views, and everything else over your morning coffee and your bacon sarnies. Until then, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And I'm going to play an outro, and then I'm going to come back and see who's hanging around in the chat. Till then, thanks for watching.